Hello everyone. In this module we are going to develop a small iPhone app to download the data from the remote database. The format of data will be JSON. The app will display the JSON data in a table. To do that, we'll open up and create the iPhone app. Product name EX TableView. The interface is a storyboard rather than Swift UI. And then UI kit application. You click on next button and it will be saved on this specific folder. And then let's start with the storyboard. What we will do in this storyboard, we will bring up a simple label, and we can say that enter a login name, and I'm going to make on center. And another object will be a text field. And bring that text field here. Enlarge the width. I think the font will style regular size wise, and another one will be a button. Bring button here, and the prompt will be get the sensor data. That sensor data that is posted by this login name. Okay. Let's see the background. Let's say pink. And the size will be increased to 25. The text will be just white. And if you want to say this a bold face, you can make it too bold. Make it a little bigger. Done. Okay, so this is the first view controller, and then we will have the second view controller. And when this button is clicked, then on the second view controller, to receive this, the user enter the login name and fetch the data from the remote database. That's what we will do. Okay, so to do that, I click this, and if we go to editor, then there's embedded in, and then we will get navigation controller. Okay, so very nicely we have this navigation controller. Okay, and then we'll have another the view controller. Then we can come back here, and then here, or you can do simply file and new file and the Cocoa Touch class, and then that will be a view controller. And the name of the view controller, I would say display on table view controller. Table view controller. And we don't need to do export the interface builder here. We can do this for other cases, but in this case we don't use this. Language is Swift. That with this will be a subclass of UI view controller. That's fine. And then that will be under this X table view, example table views. Okay, if we come back here, view controller, then oops, what happened? It's not there. Where is display view controller? Oh, okay. Right. That is the coding. And at the same time, we will get view controller here. So we type view controller, then bring this down here. Okay. So it'll be lined up with the others. Okay, very nicely. And by clicking this, we need to define what is the coding behind this view. That will be just something that we defined. That is a display table view controller. That this will be the Swift code behind this view, and this view, this graphical view, has the coding, which is the view controller of this. So we have a view controller of this, and another view controller of this. So the one for this view controller, and this view controller for this view. Okay, and then this guy needs to connect to this. If this is clicked, then this goes over to next view controller, next view, right? To do that, holding down Control button and drag and drop to the next view, and then action segue will be just simply show. Okay, and click this segue and go to attribute inspector. We can identify the ID. ID for this segue will be SG and then SG sensor data. Okay. All right. What we'll do now, in this view, we're going to populate some what we want to display. Okay, we're going to bring up a few objects. Holding down Option button and click W, click the plus sign, then we can. This will stay here. First thing that we need to bring is a table view. Table view. Bring this table view here. Okay. And then you can bring this table view cell here, or simply back to here, a prototype cell currently set to 0. If you click to 1, then you will have prototype cells. That will be the same as this table view cell. You can bring this up here. There's the same as that. Okay. So I'm going to enlarge this. That way we can populate something there. Okay. Meanwhile, before we get to that, what we want to do is we want to have some label. Okay. This label will come here. And you can simply say for someone's name, and then bring another label here. That'll be the name of that. Okay, then we will do. We're going to bring up. We're going to hide this utility pane, and instead bring up. Two the windows. On the right side the windows, we will have a view controller, and on the left side we have this. So this guy, table, the text field should be here on the code, right? So holding down Control button and drag and drop. That is outlets, and there's a text field. So text field, for short, TF, and then user ID. Okay, so that is there. And then when user enter the user ID, and then click this button, so this button should take some actions, right? So holding down Control button and bring that up here, and then that is action. And then button, we can say sensor data, display, and connect. So we have that here. Okay. Okay, and then we have a connection between the first view and the second view. So for the second view, then we need to say if the button is clicked, then we need to prepare some here. So what we need to do is you simply type prepare, then you will see there's a template, prepare for segue and sender. So click this. Okay, very nicely give you a template. You fill in this function body, the code. What we will do there is first, if this segue, okay, if segue dot identifier is the same as segue sensor. I believe we say that here. Click this segue, see if that is. There's a SG sensor. That's what we had here, right? So that's perfectly fine. If it is the case, then we need to define a cell equals segue dot destination. That goes to the next view, and as the destination class file, the coding file is this display TVs. So we can say DISP TV view controller. That's what we defined here, right? So very intelligently it shows that if this is that. So we click it, yes, that's what we want. Okay. We'll stop here, and then we'll do another work, and I will bring this class. We didn't do anything, right? This is something comment out, and what we will do is here. This guy needs to be also drag and drop here. So when user enter user ID, I want to display that user ID here on the second view. The user entered the user ID on the first view will be displayed on the second view through this segue. That's what we want to do. Okay, so we need to connect to this the graphical components to this coding list by holding down Control button and drag and drop, and that is our list display. Yeah, this is a label, so you can say label user ID. All right. Okay, and then we have to declare here the variable user ID equals, we simply initialize it. We can say string like this, but just in case we need to have some initialization. And then at the very first time, the function view did load. When this view, second view, is loaded, then what we will do is we're going to populate to this space text. Into that text field, we are going to add the user ID. Okay, that should be there. Okay, remove that. Fine. All right. So that's connected. This is connected. And then first to view, we have that, and see how it works. Let's try. Oh, I need to, let's stop here. I need to set the device for emulations, iPhone 11 Pro. And let me go ahead to run it by building the application. It built successfully. Okay, so I would say John Yoon. When I click this button, then it should go to the second view and display that one on top. For the number did come. You know why? Because I didn't do yet. Back here, this view controller here, not this but this. Oops. Here, this guy's cell dot user ID should be given from text field user ID dot text. Okay, so in this prepare function, we need to send, we need to read the text field string and assign it to the second views the variable user ID. User ID is in the second variable. See what it is. So I need to put the exclamation mark. See here, that is an explicit assignment. I think it should work. So let's run it once more. Because I didn't see here, I will fix this. Okay, here John Yoon, and when I click this is John Yoon. I need to expand this. So two things needs to be changed. This label is not something that we want. I think it's accidentally added. We'll remove that. So I'll remove this. Here, this guy back here, the text field color, text field background, not much that I can see. I think there should be that color. Okay. Come back here on the second. Probably this label. This label. I'm saying here, this is the label, right? I need to delete this. Simply click the delete button. Yeah, that's on. One more thing that I need to do is this label should be widened. Okay. All right, this much improvement. Let's see how it works. Okay, we put here John Yoon. Click on the button for John Yoon. Okay, and then here we need to display. So take this John Yoon. This is user ID. We need to send this to our site secure the database, and then fetch the data that is posted by this guy, and bring that here and display on this table list, table view. Okay. So on this table view cell, again, holding down option, label, let me see what we have say sensor. Let's say we type sensor, enter. and another label here. And I would say this is real sensor value. Okay, this is title and then value there. So two of these will be copy and paste. Now down here, and I will put this, say, model. Okay, and then there is a label. Okay, and then this guy together. Copy and paste. We have to be very careful, otherwise this will be messed up. Maybe something like this. And this sensor will be, I would say, data, and this is a date. Okay, so this is a cell. If you see here, so view table, which is this outside, contains a table view cell, which is this. In that cell, we have a content, title, value, title, value, title, value. It's just like a key value pairs. How many? We display 4 of those. Okay, sensor, sensor model, data, and date, timestamps. Okay, and this prototype cell should be also defined in a in a coding. So basically what we need to do is we come back here to make another file. Okay, and go next to here. We need to find that table view controller, UI table view controller. No, I think that should be UI view table view, UI table views, UI table view cell. Okay, that's what we need to do. UI table view cell. Name for that will be sensor table view. Okay, so that is defined. So we have a sensor table view. I would say that is just below this view and this. Okay, and come back here, the storyboard. This is UI view cell, and then to utility, that cell has a class behind. So we click this, then we have a sensor table view cell. Just we created it, right? That is for that. And then ID for that is simply, I think, what should I do for that cell? We can simply say cell. You name it, right? But we say cell. once you have the cell, to say cell. So what happens here is that when you change it to cell, and this the folder name should be changed accordingly. So actually this is not, we don't need to say anything about that. Okay. So this is perfectly fine. Whenever you identify your cell here. Okay. And then this table view cell should have also here sensor table cells. So back here, sensor table view cell, and you need to bring this down to connect by holding down control button, and then putting that here. And then simply label sensor. Okay. And this data, oops, I'm sorry. This holding down control button, and bring it here. So that will be LB data, and then control button, drag and drop, LB model, and holding down control button and drag and drop, then LB date. Okay. So that is connected with that. That's fine. So what we will do now, we need to, because we already got user ID, so with the user ID we need to access the data, right? So whole thing needs to be done here, display TV here, right? So what we will do, as I said, we're going to we'll simply use this function download JSON. Okay, so I want you to simply use it. Okay, here at the bottom, then you can use it. Okay, simply use this. So right now, MySQL is not defined. So up here, you have to define, for example, variable MySQL result equal in this JSON format, string colon string. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's forget about that for a while. See what happens here. So what is this? Oh, this. Yeah, we need to have it here open and close. That, and we have that. And then we need to get the download JSON. Download the JSON. And in the code, we need to do self.tv Oh, okay. So what has not been yet? We need to go back on this. We need to bring up yeah, this the code, the test file. And then what happens here is that this table view itself needs to be connected. So control, this whole thing should go up here, and we can say table view TV table view my sensor data. Okay, that is that. And here, my TV my sensor data should be reload data when this is complete. This guy is complete. And here, we need to put here self. So what happens here is that we need to put self. Okay. And another thing is this TV my sensor self dot delegate should be self, and TV my sensor data dot data source source should be also self. So as far as I do, then there is a there's a UITB delegates, and UITB data source needs to be downloaded here. So we simply do UI table view delegates. That will be a superclass, and another superclass will be UI table view data source. Immediately this guy says you need to use two functions needs to be defined. So we simply say yes. Then two functions can be that the templates is simply given. So we bring this down to somewhere below here and paste it. Okay. No, not this. It should be simply data source. Okay, in this case, number of rows in section. In each section we can simply how many that we will have, we do not know yet, right? We simply return MySQL result.count. It depends on how many rows to be downloaded. So we simply say, if you want to display only one, then you can say return one. If you want to display only the first 5, then you can say 5. If you want to display all that is fetched for this user ID, then you need to say everything that is counted for the result. Okay. And then this guy is that cell for row at. So what we will do for each cell, okay, when it comes to each cell, then we need to do, for example, let my sensor equals table view, and then we have to here DQ reusable cells with identifier and 4. So identifier here is simply cell. What I mean by that cell is for example, for this guy we already say cell, right? That's what we can find here. That table view cell identifier is called the cell. So we use that identifier here, cell. And for each index pass, so we simply index pass. And then now we can say my sensor dot. Now we need to add each of this label for the table that we defined, each of this. Okay, that's what we will do. So for example, I can copy this and back here, and I would say that one will be sensor dot text will be from my SQL sense SQL result. That result has a multiple rows as a result, but we need to get only according to the index path. Okay. And for that in a particular index path, the one that we want to retrieve is S-type. Okay. What happens here is that UI table cell has no member. That will be sensor. For a while, let's comment to that. Let's see what else that we need to do. Table view, the missing return, and after all of that, then we need to do return my sensor. That is needed, as we did a return, because when we need to return UI table view cells, which is my sensor. Okay. What I am going to do, I am going to print out if we really receive the data. That's what we have here, print data. Okay, see what we have. We need to make sure that this download the JSON receive the data as we expect. John Yoon, click in here, the data yet. Another thing that we need to find out here is info plist. The result from the server, the resource could not load because the app transport security policy requires security connection. So what we need to do is that we need to come back here, the info.project list, and then information property list on top. There's a plus sign. Click, and then we need to choose the app transport security settings. Okay. So that is set. And here again plus sign and allow arbitrary loads. And currently that is the value is no. So we need to set it to yes. Okay. So make sure that we have an application transport security settings where there is allow arbitrary loads to yes. Okay, and then let me go ahead to run it once more. Get the sensor data. See here, then I have a lot of sensor data, right? So this is a key and value pair, and the data is distance, user ID John. Sounds good. So come back here. So that is printed. Then next thing that we need to do is that we need to display to each cell. Okay. So say my sensor dot LB is not recognized. Let's see what happens here. Then this is a cell. Then we need to make sure that class sensor sensors, that is fine, and attributes identifier cell. Okay. DQ reusable cell. For index path. Oh, here it is. And then we need to put here as and then we need to say sensor table cell. Okay. And this guy says we need to put their exclamation mark. Fine. And then we have my sensor dot. Now we have LB sensor dot text equals my SQL result and index path and then as type. And I am going to copy and paste 3 more, and then here, rather than that, we'll have LB. Next one is data. Well, actually model. Well, data, right? Then we need to put here send data. That's what we have here, send data. That is that. We have T stamp. Then we need to put here LB model, and here LB date. For this LB date, we need to put T stamp. And for model, model, that's D type. Model is D type. And send data, T stamp, D type, send data, yeah, S type. S type, D type. I think that should be D type. This should be D type, this should be S type. Okay. Let's see. Cannot convert the value of index path to expected argument type int. Okay. So not this, we need to put here dot row. Okay. So we need to put everything to index path dot row. Okay. It looks okay. Let me go ahead to execute. John Yoon. Oh, very nice. Next one is I have a sense. This is sensor and data, but there's no model and timestamps. That is because the table height. So what we need to do is that we need to type height height for rowette, and then we can do return and 70. That is enough for the height. Okay. See what's going on here. John Yoon. Very nice. I have model and then date. Right. If I put here for someone else, let's see. Size secure. Let's see, Sumit Singh. Then I have submit things data. Okay, this can be score. This timestamp is 2021 405 April 5th, right? This is what I have. This is TableView cells. I think in this way that you can do, as a summary, we have the storyboard, navigation controllers, and 2 views. For each view, we have the code files. The code file for this first view is view controller, and second view is display TV view controller. But this table view has a table view cell. This cell has its own the code files, which is in this case sensor table view cell.swift. What this guy can do is we simply bring the connections, each of these. Okay, then how come this guy can be handled by this? Okay, this code is for entire view. In this entire view, there is table view is defined TV sensor data, and accordingly we have table view functions. Actually, finally we have 3 table view functions. This is a height, and this is for each rows. For each row, in order to populate the data, then we dequeue the reusable cells. Remember that, as I said, there will be 2 threadings, right? Multi-threadings. In this multi-threadings, it goes to, this runs on the separated threads. When it is complete, then as it is completed, then dispatch the queues to main thread. So when it comes to main thread, then we need to dequeue that threads, and now we connect it to sensor table view cell, where 4 those labels are defined. 4 those labels are defined. 4 those labels are defined. Okay. I hope you understand this, and I think this is it. Thank you.